Mr. Villiam?
Here.
Mr. Donahue?
Here.
Mr. O'Day?
Here.
Mr. Schmidt?
Here.
Mr. Sullivan?
Here.
Mrs. Mara?
Here.
Notice of this meeting was provided to the Bernardsville News, Courier News, Star Ledger, filed with the municipal clerk, and posted on the municipal bulletin board on December 12, 2017. Please all rise for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, item number 4, presentation. Seeing we have none, I'll move on to approval of minutes, September 24, 2018. Mr. Donahue, Mr. Schmidt, and Mr. Sullivan were absent on October 9th, 2018. Any changes or alterations to the minutes?
It was a slim meeting, huh?
Yes,
Three
it
of us
was.
were out.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're getting a little worried there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm seeing none. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move.
Moved by Mr. DeLeo. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Mara. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? The ayes have it. All right, open session. At this point in the meeting, the mayor and council welcome comments from any member of the public to help facilitate an orderly meeting and permit the opportunity for anyone who wishes to be heard. Speakers shall limit their comments to 5 minutes. If reading from a prepared statement, please provide a copy and email a copy to the clerk's office after making your comments so it may be properly reflected in the minutes. Anyone from the public? Yes, sir.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Pat Riley?
Hey, Pat. Yeah.
Thank you for giving me a couple of minutes tonight.
Just state your address for the clerk.
8 Bodner Street,
Thank you.
Bernardsville. I've been a resident here for over 30 years. Coached in this town, work in this town. I enjoy living here. I guess on this couple of these notes here, we're discussing, I wanted to discuss the ordinance in the town as far as property zoning. It states in this town, if you're going to hunt in this town, to bring everybody up to speed, if you're going to hunt in this town, you have to fill out a hunting form. Okay, and on this form, you put the name of the address of the person you wish to hunt, your gun, your bow, whatever you're going to use, a tree stand. You hand it in to the police department. The police department does a fine job. They go through everything. They check the block and lot and address and make sure that it's 5 acres. It's a 5-acre minimum in the town. I came to several meetings last year, almost every meeting, in regards to bringing in some people to, shoot some deer. The problem in the town is not so much a problem, but I know everybody's goal is to, take care of some of the deer population. And in hunting in this town for 30 years, I fill out these forms. I own 25 properties in this town. I own Basking Ridge, Peapack, Gladstone, whatever. 5-acre lots are kind of tough to find. And a lot of people call me already this year. I've gotten 5 or 6 phone calls from people in Bernardsville that ask me to hunt their property. I like to hunt with a bow and arrow. So they ask me to hunt, and I can't. They own 3 acres or 4 acres. It's not 5. In regulations with Fish and Game, which I made copies, if everybody, I made a couple of them for anybody who would like to see it. Fish and Game has changed the bow and arrow regulations. It used to be everything was 450 feet from a house or property, school, things like that. What they did was, years ago, they dropped it with just bow and arrow to 150 feet, which makes things a lot smaller. You don't have to have so much land. You have to hunt, of course, from an elevated stand with a bow and arrow, but you only have to be 150 feet from a house or a school or regard, to the neighbor. So what I was saying was, again, because there is a lot of deer in a lot of these parcels of land around Bernardsville that I, would like to fill out forms, or whoever would like to fill out forms. I'd like to see if we could change the ordinance from the 5 acres down to 3 with just the bow and arrow. And what that would require, again, police do a fine job. When you fill out the form, they would look and see that it's 3 acres. And of course, it's only allowed for bow, not for gun. And that would, suffice. We're not breaking any regulations with Fish and Game. It's just the town ordinance.
Okay.
So I just wanted to bring that up and see if that was something that in the future we might be able to address. Or, for example, I have two people that called me the other day that both own 4 acres, 4.5 acres. I filled out both the forms just to see. I came to the town that's over 8 acres. And they said, no, you can't, because I thought maybe combining the 2 properties, it would make the same, you know, we could still do it with signatures from both parties. And I was told no. And that's okay, because it's the ordinance, that's the way it's stated, you know, 5 acres per
Those two
property.
were adjacent?
Yes.
Okay.
Both properties do touch.
So you want the council to review this ordinance and,
Yeah, if they could,
For
if
future
you
consideration.
could review it and think about it, again, I would still keep the 5 acres, you know, with a gun, because it's always been that way. I'm only asking for bow and arrow. And again, same hunting form, same things we have to fill out with the town, and the gentleman that does, because a lot of my things say bow and arrow, you would see the 3 acres with the bow and arrow, and give the person the same permission slip. You know, we still have to, again, we have to abide by Fish and Game rules and regulations, and the town's regulations, but I just didn't know if that was something that we could look into and see if it was possible.
all right.
So, that's all.
Council members, any comments?
Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
So given the fish and game regulation of 150 feet, if you were hunting on 5 acres now,
Yes.
would you be subject to the 450 feet or the 150 feet hunting on 5 acres as it exists today?
You still have to follow Fish and Game you know.
But that would be the lower 150 feet, is that right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And that was changed recently, or? at some
Yeah,
point?
Fish and Game did it about, I'd say, probably 8 years ago. They dropped it down with the bow and arrow for the same reason. You know, they're trying to take care of population in the areas.
Well, the firearm is
in the
450,
state.
the bow is
Right.
150.
This is only, we're talking about bow and
Bow
arrow.
and arrow, yes.
But the 150 applies to you now with the 5 acre thing. In other words, you could be within 160 feet of a house.
Absolutely.
And you're
just
within
with
the
a bow,
regulation.
yes.
So I guess your
Yes.
limiter is the 5 acre issue, the parcels aren't there?
Exactly. You know, I've hunted plenty of 5 acre land, 10 acre land, 20 acre lands. You know, the problem in Bernardsville, you know, deer push from one property to another. We've got several 3 acre parcels, 4 acre pieces of land around Bernardsville. There are wooded areas and there's plenty of deer in there. And I don't want to break a law by going in there. But if we were able to, then you could, you know, get the permissions and then you could hunt those properties.
What's the
And again,
range of a bow? I just don't know anything about, like, you know.
it depends on the type of bow you shoot. Again, that's why they want you in a tree stand elevated, so you're shooting down.
Okay.
You're not sitting in a blind shooting straight out.
Gotcha.
You know, bows can carry, not like a gun, but some of the new crossbows and compounds that they have today, you know, they shoot 300 feet per second. They're very, very powerful weapons.
Would this apply to crossbows also then?
Absolutely,
Okay.
yes. Yep. So,
Okay.
I don't want to take up too much of your time, but just something that's,
Something for public safety?
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
all right,
gonna
we'll
say,
relook
we'll
at this
bring
in
public
committee with Chief. We'll send this back to public safety with Mr. Schmidt, and we'll get back to you.
okay.
All right?
Thank you very much for
All
your
right,
time.
thank you.
Have a good night.
Sir? How you
Good
doing?
evening, everyone.
How are you?
John Roberts, 47 Washington Ave.
Yes, sir.
Really just looking for a clarification. I'm on lot 1, block 136.
Okay.
You're vacating some streets around my property.
Yeah, paper
I know-
streets, yes.
I was just looking for clarification. I know Alexander, Maple runs the back of me, Alexander runs down my right side, and I got Valentine down the other.
Okay.
So I'm just asking if you could clarify, I brought my survey, someone could just tell me if the streets around, paper streets around my lot in particular are being vacated.
Jack, you have that on your,
Yeah,
Computer there?
it's actually in the packet, hang on 1 second.
I saw you previously vacated Maple, that one I didn't see.
Right,
But now I see this one has Alexander circled. That's the one adjacent to my property. Maple runs in back, but I don't recall getting a map that showed Maple in back of my particular lot vacated. And I don't know if Valentine ever was in the past or is planning to be vacated.
which lot are you, 1?
Lot 1, block
Yeah.
136.
Yeah, I don't think it was, it was just Moore,
And what-
people from Alexander to Moore. But you can certainly request it. You
Is that why they're being vacated? Other property owners adjoining
know.
those that
Requested,
have
yes.
requested it?
Yes.
yes.
And all that means is you're gonna basically split it down the middle, property line moves to the middle?
Yeah, they'll
Bonus
have
lot
to-
means half
Well,
the
we don't
price.
split it, it reverts to the prior owner or the prior owner's successor in title.
The right of way.
Usually it's 50-50.
Yeah.
But it can be 100-0. It can be all one side or the other, right?
And do you know if Maple was vacated in back of that lot?
In back of you, I don't believe it was.
It was, so that was a different section of Maple that the
Right.
ordinance is
It was
referencing?
just from Moore to Alexander.
Okay, that's the neighbor that's putting the pool. I guess that's probably why.
Yes.
All
Yeah,
right.
that was the original.
Appreciate the clarification.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Yes, sir.
Steve Reynolds.
How you doing,
Stevens Street.
Steve?
I was just wondering if you guys had a date of when the county engineer was going to come in and do a Q&A for the turf field.
Did anybody meet yet? Public recreation or anything? No. Not yet.
Have you contacted the county engineer?
I haven't had any contact with the county engineer. Anyone else?
This
John?
regarding the fields?
Doug,
Something like
anything?
that?
No.
No?
Okay,
Doesn't seem
no.
like anybody can say it.
Is there a plan in place? Is there an idea?
Well, we're gonna form the committee first, right, John?
Yeah, I think, but also, I think it's fair to like, have the, we talked about having the county engineer just sort of like field questions.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important. I think that's what we talked about at the last meeting.
Okay.
See where the confusion is between who's doing what inspections, who's measuring, who's verifying what's actually being done out there.
All right, well, Doug, you wanna reach out to him?
Sure.
The county engineer? And, let him know our request. And then, we'll, see if we get a date, time and date for you. We'll contact you.
Great.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Yes, sir.
Rob Garlick, 70 Town Mountain Drive.
How are you,
I
sir?
wanted to talk about the ordinance proposal for prohibiting pets on the athletic fields.
Okay.
The public notice didn't indicate what the rationale was.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask about what is the rationale?
Basically, people are letting their pets run astray on the fields, not cleaning up after them. Also on the turf field, and basically.
Well, the turf field is already prohibited.
Yes, yes, but all other fields too, we're getting complaints from users. And we did do inspections, and we were finding debris from the dogs left behind her, yeah, whatever pets are bringing out.
Well, let me address that.
Okay.
I think I see Claremont and the Kiwanis Field as being different from the polo grounds.
Mm-hmm.
I've walked dogs there, the polo grounds, for 25 years, and they're almost daily.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen a problem there, other than for the deer that are there.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the only areas in town that's wide open for walking dogs. I was there this morning.
Okay.
There were quite a number of other people walking dogs there as well.
Okay.
I think there are some reasonable compromises that could be made.
Can I clarify, because I had this question as well. The way the ordinance is written, it's the playing surfaces or it's all areas of the fields? I was under the impression it was for the playing surface, like the baseball diamond, the baseball
That's
outfield.
correct.
Yeah.
It's the playing fields, not the entire park.
Would that
I think
be?
some of the confusion is because some of the
Well, that's-
parks are called fields.
I think that's-
Claremont Field.
Well, I think for the polo ground, clearly for Kiwanis and Claremont, the boundaries are clearly delineated.
Mhm.
Not so for the polo grounds.
You know, Kiwanis, other than the baseball field, there's certain dates you can't be there, but you can always have brought the dogs into between the fields.
Well, I
which
didn't
tends
want to address those. I'm just addressing the polo grounds, where, as I said, I'm there every day, along with a number of other people. It's also the only really wide open spot in the town where you can walk your dogs. It's also the entrance to the nature walk that was established this year.
Old Army Trail.
Yeah, and you have to cross the polo grounds to get to it. I think, as I said, I think there could be some reasonable compromise.
All right.
Dogs allowed on the trails?
Yeah.
You know, first, polo grounds could be exempted. Second, there could be a waste bag dispenser installed there. Basking Ridge does not prohibit dogs on its athletics field. At Pleasant Valley Park, there are waste dispensers. It's not a problem there, just as I believe it's not a problem with polo grounds. That or our same thing. There are waste dispensers there. They're well used, and there's not a problem there.
Okay.
The ordinance does, it's pretty clear, and I understand your point of that is not always clear geographically, but it does say that it's limited to the playing surfaces and not the surrounding areas. But it also says all the borough athletic fields covered by this ordinance shall be clearly posted as no pet zones. So we may be able to deal with it through posting signs in specific areas of the polo grounds.
Well, there is a sign for polo grounds.
Which says,
It says that dogs needed to be leashed and
Leashed.
picked up.
This
and
would
picked
have
up.
to say no dogs allowed in this area, as opposed to just dogs must be leashed.
Right.
How would you delineate the playing fields of the polo grounds? I mean, I can kind of look at the soccer field, but, you know, if it's not lined, it's, you know.
Right.
Especially the lower part of the polo.
Yeah,
grounds.
it's
just wide open.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to delineate, to force something, you're not exactly sure what the area you're talking about.
And again, and the polo grounds, I'm not also talking about the turf field.
No, I'm totally
Yes.
a separate issue, but
Yeah.
just, I know what you're saying, but, you know, if you're not allowed athletic fields, look at the polo grounds, you can, you know, how do you reasonably interpret what the playing area is versus what would be allowed?
And that, another reasonable compromise, and it was a number of years ago, at the very least, you could say it's seasonal. Nobody's there on those polo ground fields for athletic events during December, January, February, March. They're just not there. But dog walkers are. So, thanks.
All right, thank you, sir. Council members, anything?
I think we work something out on that.
I think it's worth discussing.
Yeah.
You know,
All right, we'll
to
discuss
see
it.
if we can, as was suggested, come to a reasonable compromise.
Okay. Doug, you have something?
Yeah, one of the issues I actually asked for this to be brought forward is the folks are using the fenced-in areas of the ball fields for a dog run. So the dogs aren't on a leash, what they do is they open the gate, they let the dogs run free, sometimes they have 2 or more packs.
Well, again, that's Kiwanis and Richard
Claremont, those ball fields that have fences around.
But not at the polo grounds, which is the only fields that I was addressing.
Just for the council's benefit. And then what happens also, if the infields are wet, you know, the dogs are running through the infields and everything, and then we get the next day, it's a hot day, a sun-baked day, the infields are very, very, very bad shape. And we, you know, it takes us hours and hours and hours to dry them to try to get them back to the smooth condition. So the folks that are playing on the fields complain and say the fields are rough, you know, there's a potential for kids to get hurt when the ground balls are popping up, you know, because of all the tracks and everything that are in the field. So, you know, the mess from the dogs inside the fenced areas was the concern, and then also the condition that the infields are left when we have that rainy and then super hot dry conditions, just bakes the infield, makes it really rough. So that's what we were looking to avoid. Those 2 concerns.
Are there a lot of unleashed dogs at the polo grounds?
I'm sorry?
Do you know of any reports of unleashed dogs at polo grounds?
Not at the polo grounds, no. I've seen them on the turf fields. I've seen dogs on the turf field, unleashed, and then also quite a number of times at Claremont.
Can I just clarify, if there's an unleashed dog on a turf field today, that's already breaking a particular regulation, right?
So,
That's right.
Okay, so that's kind of like, that kind of already exists no matter what we do with this particular ordinance. That problem would need to be addressed that way.
So I was just trying to make it uniform.
Exactly.
In the different areas, you know,
Yeah.
'cause that can be confusing in itself.
Okay.
Anyone else from the council?
It's on the agenda later.
We're gonna talk about it later, or we wanna talk about it now?
Let's talk about it when we get to it, because it's on the agenda, so.
Pardon?
We can put the dog was getting pushed to the 13th too, so.
You can continue the public hearing if you want to.
Okay, no.
Yeah, I thought it was going to push to the 13th. So we can continue the public hearing on it. That's ordinance
It wasn't being continued, it was for today.
18, yes, for tonight, it's not
This
being
is for
pushed,
tonight.
so we have to continue the public hearing. That's 18-1784.
So I think the question we need to ask ourselves is if we want to go ahead with it the way it is, which is, I think it says prohibiting them from the field surfaces.
Yes.
But I think
The playing surfaces.
the playing surfaces, right? But it also says that there's going to be a sign that says no pets, because I think that's confusing then. Is it no pets on the fields or no pets in the area?
It doesn't specify exactly what the sign is going to say, but the sign has to put people on notice that pets are not allowed in this area.
On the field surface
On
or
the playing surface.
playing surfaces.
Correct.
And then the question is if that's confusing at the polo grounds, which is somewhat unique because it's not a fenced-in area.
Then it would not be enforceable there. It's the same as a no parking zone. You can't enforce a no parking zone unless there's signs that say no parking.
Right, but I mean, even if they have a sign, the fact that we don't fence the fields in, it doesn't make it easy for somebody to interpret which area the dog's allowed in versus which area the dog's not allowed in.
It's hard to delineate without striping, just like it would be on the road, you know, it's,
Yeah.
where does the outfield begin and end kind of thing, I guess. Is that
So-
sort of your question, sir? Like, you know, you don't really know where things begin and end? I mean, you know with a baseball diamond, you don't walk the dog and go on the mound with the, or whatever. But you're saying out in the outfield, where, am I in the right spot or am I further out? Okay.
Yeah, like a soccer field, et
Yeah.
cetera, you know, where you're
It's
gonna walk
lined,
on
yeah.
Old Army Trail.
Right.
Doug, the issues that you mentioned as far as like raking the infields, was this applied to the polo fields? The polo grounds?
No, not really.
Not really?
No. See, the issue is, I think that the folks are trying to take advantage of the fenced areas.
Right.
So you can let the dog off the leash.
Yeah.
So if we did not post the polo grounds, I wouldn't see a hardship in that.
All right, so what we could just do at the polo grounds, we could have a sign that says dogs must be leashed
Yes.
at all times.
There is a sign up there, right, Kevin? Leash, dog?
There's several signs up
Yeah.
there.
We'll make sure if it does not there, we'll make sure it's there, you know. So would the council be happy then if we just said that the ordinance applies to all fenced fields in the borough? That would cover us, right? Because all the fields, Rose Bowl, Kiwanis, Claremont, they're all fenced. The turf field's fenced. So we just say it applies to all fenced fields?
Would it be easier just to name the fields by location, just write them into the ordinance?
Yeah, sure.
Why don't we continue the public hearing?
To November 13th?
Public hearing, when it comes up, and we'll come back with a.
Right, we'll come back with a revised ordinance. That's,
I like that.
yep.
Frankly, I thought we'd get a lot more like comment on this, just because, you know, it's such a, some people have dogs like to walk them, so.
Well, there wasn't a great deal of notice. There was a small notice in the Bernardsville News. But there was nothing beyond that, so I'm not sure they received a lot of attention.
Okay, we're gonna continue it to November 13th.
Right.
Yeah, please do that by motion, continue the public hearing on the ordinance until the November 13th, did you say? Meeting with no further notice of publication.
I'll move.
I'll second.
All right, moved by Mr. Schmidt, second by Mr. O'Day, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? All right, the ayes have it, will be content.
We will have to publish notice of the amendment after it's done.
Okay, and that'll be for the 13th. Correct, Anthony? The 13th, November 13th, we'll continue the public hearing. All right, sir? Thank you. All right, anyone else from the public? Seeing none, I'll close the open session and move on to ordinances. All right, I'll move that a public hearing on ordinance 1782 concerning signs and amending chapter 12 of the Borough Code entitled Zoning of the Borough and Development Code be continued with no additional notice to the regular meeting of the governing body on Tuesday, November 13, 2018, to allow the planning board additional time to complete its review of the ordinance. Do I have a motion? Moved by, who was that, John?
Yeah.
Mr. Donahue,
Second.
second by Ms. Samara. I think we need a roll call on this?
No, continue.
No.
Voice vote is fine.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? The ayes have it. All right, I'll move that a public hearing on ordinance 1783 concerning uses permitted in the 1 Industrial District and amending Chapter 12 of the Borough Code Land Development Code entitled Zoning be continued with no additional notice to the regular meeting of the governing body on Tuesday, November 13, 2018, to allow the planning board additional time to complete its review of the ordinance. Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
Moved by Mr. Schmidt,
I'll second.
second by Mr. O'Day. Roll call, please.
You can do
We can do a voice.
Voice? Oh, yeah. All, I guess on here, roll call. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Abstained? And no opposition, okay. You got that, Anthony?
Yeah.
All right, 1784 we already addressed. And open a public hearing on ordinance 1785, an ordinance vacating a paper street known as Alexander Avenue. We briefly discussed this a few minutes ago in the open session. Anyone else from the public wishing to be heard on the matter? Council members? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to pass on final reading and adopt as published. Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
Moved by Mr. Donahue. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Schmidt. Roll call, please.
Mr. D'Elia?
Yes.
Mr. Donahue?
Yes.
Mr. Roday?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Ms. Amer?
Yes.
I have resolutions 18-225 to 18-231. Would anybody like to pull any for further discussion or questions? Okay. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to move resolutions 18-225 to 18-231. Have a motion?
I'll move.
Moved by Mr. O'Day, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Schmidt. Roll call, please.
Ms. Amer?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Roday?
Yes.
Mr. Donahue?
Yes.
Mr. D'Elia?
Yes.
Okay, we'll move on to reports. Report of municipal attorney. Any questions on the attorney's report or comments? Seeing none, I'll move on to 9B, Council Public Safety Committee. Chris?
We're trying to put together a meeting, it's long overdue. A couple of things. We have electronic speed signs being deployed at lots of locations throughout the town, Anderson Hill Road, and others around. Hey, Chief, the truck route sign you were talking about, are those been installed?
Yes.
Okay.
The state has installed
Oh.
truck route signs for Henderson.
Right. There's been several complaints from a lot of the residents. Is it Mullins Lane and I think one other street where we're putting the,
Mullins Lane and Scenic Drive.
and Scenic, yeah, we're putting the speed radar signs. How does that seem to help at all? Do you get any feedback from the residents?
Well, we haven't put them up yet. Your Public Works is working with Sergeant Kelly right now, and we're trying to determine the best locations for them. I think we've identified a list of streets where they're going to be placed, and hopefully after the first of the year, we'll have possibly some extra ones that can be deployed. But right now, once the locations are finalized and we get the markouts, we can start to install the signs at those locations. We're looking at, I know Mullins Lane, Anderson Hill Road, Claremont Road, Bernards Avenue. Right now, there are 48 streets that are being addressed with the electronic speed signs.
Okay.
Can I put an addition one for the next round? Mount Road?
The
The highway's gonna, the speedway's gonna open up soon once it's paved.
Watch crossing the street.
Police departments partnered with the Berners Lions Club this year to distribute, or again this year, to distribute Halloween safety materials to the local children, and police will be participating in the community trunk or treat this year as well. Christine, you want to add anything with things you've been working on?
The police department is also in the middle of their Street Smart campaign. Some of you may have noticed these kinds of signs in town reminding pedestrians and drivers that we want to keep you safe and we want everyone to be alert when they're crossing the street and when they're driving. So it's just an added visibility to that focus for the next couple of weeks. There are officers on duty who are educating pedestrians and kind of keeping them informed of what the law is and isn't as far as crossing the street, and I think it's going pretty well. Right?
It is. Our focus right now is the downtown area, but we're hoping to get some residual effect throughout the borough with regards to pedestrian crosswalks and crosswalk safety. We're not only trying to educate the motorists about cautions that they can use and precautions they should be taking when in the area of crosswalks, but also the pedestrian themselves as far as not crossing while they're texting, making sure they're alert to their surroundings, that they're not just walking out in front of vehicles, that they're properly entering the marked crosswalks and not crossing in between the crosswalks and block crossings and whatnot. Some of our crossing guards also have been handing out notices that they're crossing posts in the downtown area as well.
In addition, the Street Smart New Jersey that's helping us has been educating kids at Bedwell and at the middle school as far as pedestrian safety. So it's been a great partnership with them so far. This is the New Jersey Transportation Planning Authority, and for the next couple of weeks, they will be, they'll be at the trunk or treat giving out materials too. And you'll see these signs in most of the businesses that all of the businesses are posting signs for us just to kind of keep the word going, and for once the campaign is over, which is in about 2.5 weeks, they'll give us a final report, and in that report we'll see how we've improved since their initial observations. So stay tuned.
That's it.
That's it for public safety? Okay. Anyone else on public safety? Any comments? Concerns? Good. Seeing none, I'll move on to 9C, Council Finance and Personnel Committee.
No. We don't have nothing to update.
Nothing to update, okay. All right, 9D, Council Engineering, Technology, and Public Works.
John, you want to give an update?
Sure. You mentioned Mine Out Road. We've got about 2 more weeks of asphalt box out and restoration, topsoil and seeding. We began the Chapin Road drainage project this morning, weather permitting, 1 to 2 weeks to complete that work. After those are done, we'll get on Tilcon's schedule to have Mine Out Road and Chapin paved. The train station parking lot is on schedule to be milled and paved, again, weather permitting, Monday and Tuesday of next week. Our contractor plans on beginning work on Anderson Hill curb ramps to get us to conform to ADA compliant requirements Monday, the 5th of November. School's out for a couple days that week, so we're going to take advantage of that and take care of the curb ramps at Alcott and also at Sini Drive, so hopefully we can minimize the disruption to school traffic. That will be, Anderson will be paved in 2019. The same contractor has the contract for Pill Hill Road. We're going to take care of the long-standing drainage issue near the landfill entrance. He will begin that work after he's done with the curb ramps on Anderson. Pill Hill will also be paved in 2019. Ann Street drainage is anticipated to begin November the 12th, about a week and a half for that. And the markouts are good for the speed radar signs this Thursday, so sometime after that, Brian Kelly and I will be getting together. We'll be popping those up and hopefully slowing some people down around town.
All right. Anything else? Doug, anything?
Yeah, just a couple of things. I wanted to add to what John had said about the milling and paving. John and I met with both transit, Bernardsville Police, and also the school district to make sure that everything was coordinated while the lot was closed. So I think we have a good plan. We spoke with Glenn Miller. We allowed to park the buses up in the firehouse. The kids.
That's for Del Barton and
for the
Villa
private
Walsh.
schools. So I think we covered all our bases, hopefully, and that should run smoothly on 29th. So we're looking forward to getting that.
I want to thank you both for all your efforts, because I know we've been going through this for a couple of years now, and with contractors and training and just site and the curbing and everything. So I want to thank you for all your, your efforts and your
Farmers market's being displaced for one weekend, or no? No?
We moved it to the
Monday
weekdays.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
We will be back in the parking lot the following Sunday. The date on Tuesday when they pave, the striker will come in and put some temporary marks down. You can imagine the chaos that would ensue if there aren't parking spaces of any kind.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
They'll come back on Sunday to do the permanent striking.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question about the striping? Will there be any kind of markings in the zone that's in the center? Like, it currently has nothing.
Where the farmer's market's at, that side?
Well, if you're walking to the train station from the sidewalk to get to the part where the cafe is, can there be a crosswalk there? Or some kind
Crosswalk
of...
through the parking lot, you mean? To the
Right.
cafe?
I think there's
Right.
parking spaces.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
minimizing, getting rid of any spaces is not a good idea. That's the first thing that comes to mind. I don't know if we have to, what regulatory things we have to do to put a crosswalk in there, advanced warning signs. It wasn't something that was thought of.
there, we probably have to lose a couple spots on each side of the opening.
Yeah.
You know, to allow.
So we lose, and that's pretty full at nighttime too, because I know all the businesses use it.
We haven't had any problems there, people getting hit. Kevin, have we? Any issues there?
In the parking lot.
In the parking lot, in the train station parking lot.
I mean by cars, not by.
Well, that's a small area up here that I think you're talking about, and it's very tight, and those spaces are not very far apart. We really haven't had a problem in that parking lot area per se with pedestrians being struck. And a lot of those cars, once they're parked for the duration. It's a lot of commuter spaces being used there, whereas the shopper parking is really right up against the wall. We have those 3-hour spaces, so most of the people who are using the businesses and parking to go to the sidewalk, to cross 202 or go up to town, most of those people are parking along the wall and the shopper spaces anyway. Most of those spaces, I think, Christine, in the middle of the parking lot are commuter spaces.
Yes, Doug.
We have a meeting with the library staff and training representatives on the 25th to discuss maximizing, if there's anything we can do to maximize the energy savings up there, since we've been doing
Okay.
taps on. So we're revisiting that after we have 2 years of data on how we're doing with our electric bills.
Yeah, the train you're talking about is a heating
Yes, I'm
train.
sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes. And there's been a problem area with the library, the trash area, our new fencing was installed around there today, Friday, and then we're going to be installing security cameras there to review any illegal dumping. We've had some situations where that's been happening, so we're going to put an end to that. The boiler replacement is complete here. We have an energy efficient boiler now versus the 50-year-old boiler we had before. The new water service line has been run to the Polo Ground Snack Shack, so that's back up in business for the athletes to get water. The old playground equipment was removed probably about 6 weeks ago, and all that was recycled. The new equipment is due to be delivered tomorrow, actually, and we're hoping at the end of the week we'll be doing the installation, and then we're going to do the fabric, backfilling, and then also the mulching, and that'll be ready to go.
When do you think that'll be ready? My 10-year-old keeps asking me. I've got to give him an answer.
Yeah, you know, the weather has killed us so bad
Yeah.
this year. We're hoping that the equipment will be installed by the end of this week, if not Monday or Tuesday of next week. We have to do the fabric and then call the mulch people and do the mulch. So I'm going to say maybe, hopefully the second week in November.
All right, great, thanks.
We'll get them running. Okay, I'll just do it there.
All right, very good, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, anyone else? Anything with Public Works, Technology, Engineering? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to 9E, other committee and commission reports. HPAC, anything, environmental? Seeing none. 9E1, housing zoning report from zoning officer and zoning enforcement. Questions for Jeff or Mike, you have anything?
Yeah, I'd had an email correspondence to Ralph with you. 56 Mount Airy Road, I mean, I guess we had mentioned there's quite a number of properties that are multifamily, and I'm assuming in zones that don't permit multifamily. And how's that being addressed, just from my edification?
Well, we're compiling a list of these homes that are 2-family or more in single-family zones. Way back in 1971, 2-family and more were removed from the ordinance. So if you had a 2-family dwelling prior to 1971, it essentially became non-conforming in 71, which requires either a certificate of non-conformancy to be issued by the zoning officer, or after 12 months has gone past, then there must be a certificate issued by the Board of Adjustment. So what we're doing is compiling a list of these non-conforming properties and figuring out whether they've got a letter of non-conformance. If not, we're going to be sending out a letter requesting that they provide us with some information about the property, and ultimately they will be going to the Board of Adjustment to seek this non-compliance certification.
So 2 families before, what was the year, 19?
Is that borough-wide, or is that in just certain areas? Or has it always been?
In 71, the ordinance was far-reaching to all zones in the borough.
So anything built before 71 and was 2 family is grandfathered, correct?
That's correct.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
But there has to be some certification either given already, or if the council chooses, we can request these property owners to go to the Board of Adjustment to get a certification. Right now,
Jack, is they need paperwork, is that right? If you're pre-71, you need paperwork?
They don't need paperwork absent some action by the borough or by the mortgage company in order to do it. For instance, if there is a property that everyone knows was a legal 2-family prior to 1971, there'd be no reason to enforce it. If we don't know, and Jeff is threatening with a summons, then at this point in time, so many years after the ordinance was adopted, outlawing 2 families, as Jeff said, they would have to go to the Board of Adjustment and get a certification of non-conforming use, which is the technical term for a grandfathered use. It's kind of a misleading term. And in that case, the burden is on the property owner to show that it was a legal 2-family prior to the ordinance, which made the use illegal.
Okay, and if they can't do that, what happens? The Board of Adjustment declines their request for a certificate of nonconformance.
If they decline that, they have 2 options. One is to revert to a single family, or to apply to the Board of Adjustment for a use variance. So often when property owners do apply to the Board of Adjustment for a certification of nonconforming use, they'll also request a use variance in the alternative.
Okay, and if the use variance is denied, what, because ultimately you'd like to see single-family homes where the single families are allowed.
Yeah, then it can be issued a summons.
Okay, and what does that work? I mean, the summons means that they're being compelled to do it legally?
That's correct. They're brought to municipal court.
Because I feel like this problem's been around for so long, it's like, I almost don't think they take it seriously. I mean, what's our ultimate sanction to compel conversion back to single family? Assuming they don't get any of the...
They can get fined on a daily basis by the municipal court judge because it's a continuing violation. If in fact, they don't get variance or certification of non-conforming use.
Can we just clarify? I mean, you're talking about somebody who had a 2-family house in 1969? Is that what we're talking about?
No, post-71 that became...
Post-71?
Single-family became 2-family, which after
sometime after
the ordinance. Right, and I guess that's what you want to sort out is which was proper and which, has happened since. In the case I was emailing you about, I think it's, we surmise it happened after that.
Now, which one is that, John?
56 Mount Airy, if I'm remembering the address right.
Yes, that's correct.
And how long is it to get to compile the list? When can the letters start going out? I mean, can you do it on a rolling basis as you identify the properties? I mean, it'd be nice to get this moving sooner rather than later because I feel like the problem's just been there for so long.
Right. We're working on it, and I'd like to try and get a draft letter into Jack's hands before the middle of November.
So as a practical matter, usually when these properties are resold, their mortgage company will require some kind of proof it's illegal use in a town they know doesn't allow 2 families. So some of them are turned over every year and have certification of non-conforming use. Some may have variances too.
Yes, so there's research that you need to do. But I don't want to be sending letters out to people who...
Where does the burden lie? Is it lie on the landlord?
Yes, yes.
So just send the letters out and we'll put the burden of proof on them. And if we see it, and, it's not in our records, it's up to them to show us. I mean...
What would a pre-71 house show to the town?
There should be assessor records showing.
Right, because it's assessed as a 2-family, right?
Or they could have photos from pre-1971. Or they could have affidavits from people saying, I rented here in 1969.
We need a CO from the town that it was built?
It may, I mean, there are a lot of ways they could prove it.
That's if they're.
If it's in the records, yeah.
In 1971 is easier to prove. I mean, some ordinances go back to like 1936.
Yeah.
People have a very difficult time. But 71, if they are legal, many of them will be able to prove it.
Especially if they're resold
Exactly.
anytime after that, they should have some
I
type
think
of
for the
record.
pre-71, we're gonna have to give the owners some type of guidance on what they need to bring forward, especially if they have a house that was built in the 50s and 40s and they were a two-family.
Yeah, there may be construction code, building laws, you know.
Let's hope there's records still,
built as
you know.
two-family, too.
At Bernardsville, I mean, historically, right, we don't do certificates of occupancy or continued occupancy, right?
That's correct. That's correct. Most suburban caps do not.
And then what would that do, certificate of continued occupancy? Is that when the title transfers, or?
That's every time a house is sold, you have to get a CCO that goes.
Would that be
Yeah.
something we should look at doing, enacting by ordinance?
You can, councils have looked at it in the past, and decided not to do it. But
What was the basis, just for my edification, for the,
just it's an administrative burden, it's a burden on property owners. You know, that is, most suburban towns do not have it, but you certainly have the legal right to do so.
Sorry, did you say most towns-
Multifamily houses.
Most suburban towns do not.
Most suburban towns do not have that? Okay.
Wait, I mean, it adds a lot of work, because every time there's a sale,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they have to apply, there has to be an inspection.
Is there a
Single-family
cost?
houses,
Is there a
they're
cost to the homeowner or to the borough to do that?
Well, there'd be you know, an application fee, just like anything else, which is supposed to cover the cost to the borough of administering the program.
So if we were to institute an ordinance, then anybody in town, whether they're a single family or two-family owner, would have to pay
That's
the
correct.
town, that'd be an additional closing cost for that homeowner,
That's correct.
Yes.
the seller of the house.
Correct.
Yes.
So our residents would have to pay. Okay. Well, something to take into consideration.
yeah, I think the problem is reaching such a point where maybe we should revisit that and just kind of kick it around again.
It's certainly a priority.
Jeff, do you know,
I'm sorry.
do you know in our town the percentage of homes that are multifamily homes versus single-family homes?
Don't know that statistic, but what I do know is that out of the 400 rentals that we do annually, the 70 houses that I've got as two or more make up 201 of those.
Mm-hmm.
So over 50% of the rentals are two-family or more.
But that's 200 out of maybe 2,700
Yeah.
properties
Yeah.
in the town?
And that's just rentals.
Yeah, yeah, the rentals are easy for me to find
Right,
because we've
right.
got
Right.
files on them.
I suspect 3 families and more would have a more difficult time proving, because I think only 2 families were legal up to 1971. I don't think 3 or 4 families.
Okay.
were.
So 3 and 4 families, to me, it would be almost like open and shut. It's like you just can't have this, so.
Those are clear. I mean, they would have to show probably they predated the first zoning ordinance, which was probably around 1936. I could check, but I'm guessing.
All right. And you'll have the letter for Jack, a draft letter for Jack, you think, by the middle of November?
That's my plan, yes.
Anyone else?
Can I jump back to 9D real quick?
Sure, guy.
Salt. We have a shipment, I know it's gonna be being used sooner than later. So are we resupplied yet?
I haven't opened the garage door in a while. I think we left it in pretty decent shape.
We did, okay. When it sits over the summer, will the humidity and, does it get hard? No? Okay.
Should we open up those POs, Ralph? Something you have to do, right, to set us up so we just call?
We'll be doing that the next month or so, yes.
We used it twice in November last year, just as a reminder,
Yeah,
so.
you may want to.
We saw.
That later.
Yeah, we had those 2 ice storms that,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah. Very much
that were
so.
kind of sneaking up on us pretty easily, so. Just something I thought of.
All right, anyone else for housing and zoning?
That's it.
Any other comments for? Okay. Any other reports or commission? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to items of business. All right, 10A, Board of Adjustment. Mr. Sullivan, we wanted to interview the candidates, so We'll
Sure.
proceed with that this evening. I see Mr. Yale is here. How you doing? How are you? Good.
Kevin, we have, what's available at the Board of Adjustments? The spots that were,
We'll have Anthony with the 2 alternate spots.
There's alternate 4, which is, expires at the end of this year, and there's one regular term that I believe expires at the end of 20. Let me just check that here.
because I was talking to a couple of people on the, currently who are alternates, and would we be better moving the alternates up?
Traditionally, we move the alternates up.
Yep, and
Because
then-
they have, it's a learning process,
Yep.
so they've been serving. So I think you have Ed McDowell as trainer as the alternates.
Or Tom Cart, I thought that was Tom Cart.
I think Tom Carton is 2, and Trainer is 3. I'm not sure the order.
Okay.
But yeah, we could move them up, if you want to do that.
If you do that, they have to resign their current slot and then be moved up to the vacant slot.
Do you do that at the same time, or do they resign and move up at, like at the same meeting?
Yeah, you can do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, normally it would be a seamless transition.
Yes.
All right, are we ready? Mr. Yao?
Sure.
Come on up. How are you?
Hello, everybody.
Hello. How are you?
Thank you for making the time. I just wanted to give a little background and perspective on my candidacy for the Board of Adjustment.
And thank you for volunteering. I know
Yeah,
you're very
thanks.
excited
Yeah,
about
no,
this, and we spoke about this in
it's
the
a
past,
privilege.
so thank you.
Basically, my name is David Yale, 63 years old. I'm a native of New York City, born and raised in Bayside, Queens, and I spent a lot of my adult life with my late wife raising our 3 children in Armonk, New York. 4 years ago, I was sort of at a crossroads, determining sort of what I was going to do in terms of balancing 3 kids, 2 of whom were about to enter high school as twins, as you can imagine, since they were both entering high school at the same time, and a son who was about to enter college. So it clearly was a crossroads. And after establishing a lot of ties in Armonk, working on as a board member of the soccer board, and also balancing my job and career, I was heading up a company called Just Born Quality Confections, which is not a baby company. It actually is a confections company. We make Mike and Ike hot tamales, Peeps, the marshmallow Peeps at Easter, and Gulliver peanut juice. But as you can imagine, it was a bit of a long commute from Armonk, New York to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. So given that the kids were in transition and I was a single parent at the time, I had to make a hard decision to move. And I wanted to be somewhere that had a great location, back to where we used to live, about an hour and a half away, access to New York City, but importantly, access to my job within an hour drive. And right now, knowing that reverse commute and learning about it on 78 going west, it's a little under an hour, so that worked out. But I could have moved a lot of places. It didn't have to be Bernardsville. I was looking in Basking Ridge and Warren, White House Station, a few other places. But when I came to Bernardsville and really started spending some time here, I mean, I have some friends in Basking Ridge, it really had a really nice sensibility to it. And obviously I knew and did the research on the school system, which was top-notch, a lot of community involvement, beautiful physical town, and had hit all the, and checked all the boxes in regards to location, and also in terms of reading up and doing some research. Had moderate growth, seemed to have a good balance of amenities and services, but again, also physically beautiful. And when I brought the kids here, we sort of fell in love after driving around a little bit and looking at a few places. So we moved here a little over 4 years ago. It's been a great stay in town. Actually, my one son was going to college at the time, as I mentioned. He just graduated Muhlenberg, was living in Hoboken, working in the city. But actually the twins sort of split up. My daughter went to private school in Maine, but my son entered Bernards High as a freshman and just graduated. He's at the University of Florida now. My daughter's at Monmouth, and my fiance and I live on 1 Charlotte Hill Drive. We're neighbors with Diana and Stephen and Paul Sedlak, who's also on the Board of Adjustment. So I learned a little bit about it through them. And essentially I wanted to start moderating some of the time that I have and start giving back to the community. I think it's a great town. I'm very interested in being part of and participating in where we're going into the future in terms of balancing the great development that we have with our quality of life
the beauty of the town and trying to establish that right balance. And all I can say is, given my 35-year plus career, I won't get focused on the plus side of that, in marketing, sales, and general management, working on teams, being part of entities that try to find very objective solutions that provide win-win opportunities for those involved. I am looking forward to bringing that mindset and participating very objectively. I guess one of the things that might be in my favor is, as a 4-year plus resident, I don't have a lot of long-standing relationships or have established a lot in town. I would be very objective and provide a fresh set of eyes. I'm a quick study and would just relish the opportunity to contribute. So
Very good. Councilmember, any questions?
You have the time to commit, because it's,
Yes.
I think the meetings are at least once a month.
Right.
And then depending upon whether you have any work meeting, they can be a couple more times a month.
yeah, I would make the time and actually put my business schedule around it. There might be a couple of times when I'm traveling, but for the most part, I wouldn't be standing here if I didn't feel I could make the time commitment to participate fully.
So this is an alternate?
Yes.
four? So
Anthony, what would it be
It would
alternate?
be, well, if you're moving everyone up, it would be an alternate 3, because there is a vacancy on alternate 4 right now. So if you move everybody up, this would be an alternate 3.
So that's non-voting, right? Alternate? Unless.
Unless there's not enough members.
Yeah, or somebody has to recuse
So
themselves.
you know that, right?
Yeah.
There might be some situations where you're not voting, but, okay.
But alternates can participate fully in the hearing.
Right.
Right.
I just wanted to make sure.
But we've had situations where we had a couple of applicants recently where a lot of guys people had to recuse themselves, so the alternates were very involved.
Okay.
Yeah. That's true, especially with Conti's property,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
So, David, thank you for volunteering, to participate.
Sure.
When you filled out the skills bank, obviously Board of Adjustment was one of the areas that you expressed an interest in. Were there other areas as well, or is it mainly just this one that you're focused on?
I wanted to focus on this one in particular, and like I said, I'm at a stage in my career now where I'm looking forward to start to do things that are more community focused and giving back, and sort of open to other things, but certainly thought this would be a good place to start.
You share with me, you can make the most impact here, you felt, and as you described the community, when you chose the community to live in. And
Right.
your objective, so,
Yeah.
you still, yes. John? Chris?
That's it. Good.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Great, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Now, Christine, did we have another candidate as well?
Yes, not here this evening, Ms. Pinkerton.
Now, we have 2 spots, Anthony, available?
We have 2 spots, yes.
There's 2 spots. I guess something came up and she couldn't be here, so she's not here tonight.
Okay, we can schedule her for next meeting.
I'll tell her she can come to the next meeting.
Yes.
So the alternate 4 position, you said
This would be
expires
3, right?
on December 31st of this year?
Of 18, yeah. That's
This
correct.
alternate 3 position, which we discussed now here, if everybody moves up, what's the date for?
12/31/19. And then everyone would move up, so Tom Carton would be now a regular member. That would be 2020.
Okay,
And then Trainer will move up to alternate 1, and McDowell will move up to alternate 2.
okay,
And then it will leave 3 and 4 vacant for two people.
okay, so we could fill the 2018 position this evening.
Well,
And
you
the way
would
we
be filling the alternate 3, which is 2019,
Okay,
this evening, if you wanted to do that.
So does that mean start when?
Well, he was,
January 1?
no, he would start now. It's an unexpired term.
Oh, I
And
see.
it will be now until 12/31/19.
Since we have only
I'm
one more
comfortable.
person, why
Yes.
don't we just
make a
Only
motion?
in terms of changes, regular terms are 4.
Mr. DeLeo? Make a motion?
Yeah, move
Move to appoint Mr. Yale?
Yeah, to the Board of Adjustments, right? Board of
Yeah,
Adjustments.
alternate 3.
Alternate 3.
Second?
You should move the other positions too, just contingent upon their resigning their current slot and moving up.
Okay, so we're gonna move Mr. Carden to, Mike, do you want an alternate 2, was it?
Carton would move,
From
actually,
alternate
he's
two?
alternate one, he would move to a regular member.
Alternate one to a
and
regular member.
unexpired term to 12/31 of 20.
Okay.
That'll be Carton.
And Mr. Trainer would move up.
Move up to 1, and then
Mr. McDowell would move up to 2.
alternate 2, right?
Do we need to make a motion for that, or that, to make that?
I think, yeah, you have to make.
Yeah,
Okay,
we'll make a
so I'll make
motion.
the motion to move Mr. Carton, member, to a member of the Board of Adjustments, term expiring in 2020. Mr. Trainer to move to alternate 1 for the Board of Adjustments. Who's the third person? Ed McDowell to move to alternate 2. And then Mr. Yale to be put on the Board of Adjustments as an alternate 3. Term expiring
12/31 of 18 for, I'm sorry, 19.
19.
Okay.
For, yeah.
I'll second that.
All right, you got a second. We got a second from Mr. Sullivan. Need a roll call, Jack?
Yes, please.
Roll call, Anthony?
Mr. D'Elia?
Yes.
Mr. Donahue?
Yes.
Mr. O'Day?
Abstain.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Mrs. Mayor?
Yes.
David, welcome, and thank you very much for your volunteerism and participating in the community. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to 10B, hardship extension for road moratorium 120 Post Coonhart. It was in our package. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What are we on now?
10B, hardship for Post Coonhart. There was a letter from John Dow. They want to convert, they have a couple different types of heat in the residence, and including energy source being oil. It was in our package, propane. And they want to convert everything to natural gas and include a natural gas generator in the process. And John, you sent us a letter that has been done in the past.
We have done it in the past. We talked about it in February. We wanted to make sure that these types of things were brought before the council. We've got a procedure in place. We have a $5,000 bond with PSE&G. We require that when they do the repair, rather than doing just normal base and top, that they actually use an infrared repair, which heats up the surrounding pavement. It makes for a really nice repair. The ones that were done on Mullins Lane some 3 to 4 years ago are still in good shape. So it is a good repair. But it is a patch in a newly paved road.
So we've discussed this in the past in public works.
Yes.
And we removed it and we put it back on for 5 years, moratorium on the roads, as a discussion.
This is the kind of stuff that always bugs me.
Yeah, me too.
The one on Sycamore, when we did that one ever go through? They wanted to,
Yes, that was a real small patch. It's no more than 2 foot by 2 foot. It's right at the edge of the road.
how'd that hold up throughout the whole, yeah? And how big would this one be?
This one's a little bit bigger. It's more like a 12 foot by 2 foot cut.
12 foot by 2 foot? How big was the one up in Sycamore?
It's about a 2 by 2.
Oh.
That's just because the gas was
On that side?
their side of the road.
Yeah.
And then we had some on Mullins.
We had several on Mullins. We had a couple on Round Top also.
Which we've allowed.
Correct.
With the infrared, is that kind of like blend the seams of the cut in the road, and so you don't get the freeze thaw, but suddenly you have like a trench there?
Yeah, it's a big mat that they run heat through, so they're effectively heating not only the asphalt comes out hot that they put into the road opening, but now they're heating up the other material around it. It makes for a pretty good seam between the two materials.
And Post Canard's only been paid for how long now?
1 year.
1 year.
So John, I can't find the letter here. I saw it earlier. These are new owners?
Yes.
And they're doing an oil conversion?
Yes.
Oil, natural gas generator, getting rid of the propane also.
They weren't living in the house
No.
Yeah, they moved in the spring, right?
Yes, April of this year.
Oh, these are new homeowners?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah, they're replacing, Chris, they're replacing their, you know,
Tire heating system.
I get it now.
Yeah.
But we've had other homeowners that have lived in a house for 25 years. They wait until 6 months after it's paved, and then want to open the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that has happened, trust us, we've talked about that at
Yeah.
many a meeting. Okay, well,
All right.
my opinion's a little different here.
Okay, so,
Guess we vote.
vote. All right, vote to approve.
Um,
Moved by Ms. Zamara,
I'll second it.
second by Mr. DeLeo. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? All right, the ayes have it. Anthony, you'll notify the homeowner?
And, I
Right,
think
John?
will,
John will? All right, thanks, John. All right, request for Cub Scouts. John?
Yeah, it's my son's Cub Scout, Dan. They're doing a unit on, like, I guess, civics and government, and, you know,
Okay.
being a country and world citizen. And one of the things is to meet a local government leader. Conveniently, I live in the same house as my son, so
Okay.
I figured this would, if you guys are okay with it, use it from like 4 to 5:30 on Sunday afternoon. I think Anthony said the police officers would let us in. You know, the
Yeah.
insurance company was okay with it. There's minimal risk of a party breaking out with the 10-year-olds. And so we'd be, you know, low impact, and, you know, and if you guys you're welcome to come and, you know, talk
Okay.
about your time. You know,
Yeah,
it's,
sure.
you know, hopefully they don't want to hear me droning on for 90 minutes. But yeah, all of you are welcome to sort of like come in and just, you know, add your thoughts.
Okay, that's 4 to 5:30 this
4 to
Sunday, right?
5:30. I'll confirm that. I'm almost positive, but I might be misremembering, but I'm almost positive.
Don't tell us when the party's over now.
Yeah,
We're gonna
yeah.
be in on this.
I
All right,
also-
sure.
Speaking of events like that, I ran into Dan Lincoln at the coffee shop this weekend. He was at, just to bring up, at the library on Saturday between noon and 4, I think it is.
Trunk or treat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just want to make sure everyone knows that.
Okay.
is that the library, Chris?
Library parking.
Library parking lot. Yeah,
Say noon to 4?
approved it at
Noon
the
to 4.
previous
I
meeting.
thought it was at, okay. I thought it was-
We've done it
And
down by
they
the
do
pool
it, they go
before,
around
Yeah.
but
these stores too, you know, so it'll be all over downtown, probably.
we
Okay.
should also add that the fishing derby was, last Sunday, and it was
Yeah, very successful.
very well attended,
Mhm.
so, I'd like to just thank Cheryl Ferrant, even though she's not here, and Neil Mastrobrono from the rec department. They
Yeah, we
did
had
a great
100,
job.
100 kids registered.
More than 100, and it was raining, so
Yeah.
I think
Cold.
they thought it was gonna be not so great, but it turned out awesome.
And the fish were biting. As soon as the line hit the water, they were catching them, yeah.
Hey, Chief, any issues this past Saturday with the hunt?
No, it was actually, there was a lot less traffic this year.
Huh?
A couple isolated incidents, train station and a couple ambulance calls. The squad had 4 or 5 calls in the afternoon, but nothing extremely serious.
Yeah.
I think the
We
numbers,
had extra patrols on, and officers doing DWI patrols. We did not find any DWIs. We wrote about 20 tickets, I think, yesterday.
Okay.
All right, so everybody's good with the Cub Scouts? All in
Yeah.
favor?
Yep.
Okay,
Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to step on the scouts.
that's okay. We'd be in trouble if we said no. The Cub Scouts would be active. All right, correspondence, I see we have none. Second open session, anybody from the public, again, wishing to be heard? No one, council members, before we go into closed session? Anything else?
Nope.
All right, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to move to adjourn into executive session to discuss personnel matters and property acquisition. And Jack will probably be coming out with a decision. Okay. Moved by Mr. Schmidt, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. O'Day, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, okay, the ayes have it. I entertain a motion, to, move out of closed session and move into open session to vote on 3 matters.
I'll move.
Moved by Mr. Schmidt, do I have a second? Second by
Read
Mr.
the resolution, if I may just briefly, on the execution of the contract.
Yes, go ahead, Jeff.
Resolution 232, I believe? Yeah, 18 after 232.
233.
233, I'm sorry. A resolution authorizing the purchase of 251 Claremont Road, whereas the borough is interested in purchasing property located at 251 Claremont, space known as the Peters Tract, whereas the borough, whereas the owners of the property have agreed to sell it to the borough for $900,000, whereas simultaneously herewith the governing body is introducing an ordinance appropriating $950,000 from the Borough Open Space Trust Fund for the purchase of the property, and whereas the borough is also hopes to obtain green acres funds to replenish part of those proceeds, and whereas the governing body finds it in the best interest of the borough to purchase this property, now therefore be resolved, the purchase of 251 Claremont Road using $900,000 of Borough Open Space Trust Funds plus $50,000 to cover soft costs is hereby authorized. The mayor and borough clerk are hereby authorized to execute the contract for the sale of real estate on behalf of the borough in form acceptable to the borough attorney and the borough's consultant, Aaron Sella, which will contain the usual contingencies, including adoption of the ordinance appropriating the funds from the Open Space Trust Fund, and the borough attorney is hereby authorized to take all steps necessary to obtain title to the property on behalf of the borough.
And, all right, as read by the attorney, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move.
Moved by Mr. DeLeo, I have a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Schmidt, roll call, please.
Mr. DeLeo?
Yes.
Mr. Donahue?
Yes.
Mr. O'Day?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Mrs. Mayor?
Yes.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to move, Borough of Bernardsville Resolution 18232, authorizing a contract with William Youngblood to represent the borough in connection with the proposed acquisition of Block 125, Lot 25, located on North Finley for the construction of, this is wrong, Anthony.
Not North Finley.
Yes, reading North Finley on the resolution.
That's me, I'm sorry.
All right, Jack.
There's no resolution, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is,
What's the block?
Proposed acquisition.
Do we have the lot and block number
Yeah,
correct?
let's put that in the record, please.
I'm sorry, I think that may be great.
Well, Bill, you got another contract, say.
Yeah.
no.
I guess so. Not yet. I had to finish it.
Bill, do you have it by chance?
No, this, we just got this.
Wait, is that what we did last time?
You did that last.
We did that last time.
Yes, we did, yes.
Okay.
There was another one, there's another one for this property, that's the old resolution, but it'd be the exact same.
Okay, now we have an ordinance.
Yeah, but there's a
Appropriate.
resolution, there's a separate resolution for tonight, that's the one you adopted last meeting.
Okay.
And it refers to 251, that's right.
And Anthony, that's the same number as the one we adopted last meeting, or we'll just nix this number?
The one we adopted last meeting was 216.
Okay, this is
Yeah, but this would be
232.
your new number, this would be 232 because it's for this property.
Okay.
What is the
There's one
address?
in writing, it's just not here.
Well, I thought the problem was that they were talking about Finley Avenue.
No, that's the old resolution, that's the wrong resolution.
You mean the printed resolution is wrong here,
The one you have is wrong, there's another one.
but the one that's online, it's 232, is correct.
No, I don't think it's the one
No,
that's online.
the
They're online.
one that's online on Dropbox is the one that is hit out right here, so.
Jack, I thought you were talking about this.
Yeah, no, hang on one second, let me just find the,
Yeah, so we retained, you, Billy, last meeting, so.
yeah, that's the wrong resolution. I've got it, I'll send it to Anthony in the morning, but it's similar.
Yeah, it says North
Hang on, I'll find it.
232.
Give me 1 second. I used that one as a model, and kept it controlled in something by mistake, I apologize.
Do you just want block and block on Claremont?
I should have it off.
It's over here, it's on the ordinance.
It's on the ordinance.
Block 17,
That's
lot
not-
30,
I don't think that,
I'm gonna look
I
it
don't
up
think
right
that's
now.
right.
isn't it?
it's 1728.
It's 2817.
What's the property number, guys?
251, Christine, right, 251?
The address?
Yeah.
251 Claremont.
251.
The block is 17 and the lot is 28.
28.
I wrote it down. Thank you.
What did you say it was, Kristen?
Block 17, lot 28.
Don't like draw smiley faces on there.
Block 17, you said? What was the block?
Block 17, lot 28.
251 Claremont Road.
Yep.
17, 20. Bill, it's 251, right?
Yeah, the Claremont address is 251.
Okay, the block 1728 lot. I'm on the tax record online.
It's on, Kevin's got it on the contract that I just handed him.
Okay.
So, 18,
It's right in the ordinance,
17,
isn't it?
No, it says 17, lot 30 in the ordinance.
Which is 271 Claremont.
Up here it says 277 Claremont.
Well, that's Peter's
That's just
track.
Peter's track.
And Jack, the ordinance has 950,000 being appropriated,
Yeah,
not nine.
it's 950 appropriated, as I said, it's 50,000 for soft costs and 900 for the purchase price.
Okay.
This covers the appraisals and all that.
All right, so we'll
Actually, I
move,
don't think that's right. This says it's Bernhardt 261.
251.
251.
All right, that's 29, okay. All right, we're good.
all right, so we're okay with lot 17? I mean, lot 28, block 17?
Yep.
Is it correct?
Block 17, lot 28.
Yeah, it's right in the ordinance.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so the ordinance is okay, Jack?
The ordinance is correct, yes. As I say, I apologize, many the old resolutions.
So the ordinance is correct, but
Yes.
the resolution 232, does that need to be rewritten?
That's wrong.
That's the old resolution. This resolution will be just like that, but it's authorizing Bill to represent the borough in connection with 251 Claremont, is that right?
So can we just do a verbal is on that?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
That's what you're saying,
In
Jack?
the exact same form as that one. Like
Okay.
I said, I apologize.
All right,
Borough.
Borough of Bernardsville Resolution 18232, authorizing a contract with William Youngblood to represent the borough in connection with the proposed acquisition of Block 17, Lot 28, located at 251 Claremont Road.
That's right.
For purchase from proceeds from the Open Space Trust Fund.
Correct.
All right?
And everything else will be the same, there's no commission
Everything else.
payable by the borough.
Yes, okay.
And seller will be responsible for the commission.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to move resolution 18232, moved by
I'll
Mr.
move.
DeLeo. Second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Donahue, roll call, please.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan,
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt,
Yes.
Mr. O'Day,
Yes.
Mr. Donahue,
Yes.
Mr. DeLeo.
Yes.
All right, Bernardsville Ordinance 1786, appropriating $950,000 from the Borough Open Space Trust Fund for the purchase of 251 Claremont Road. Statement of purpose to appropriate $950,000 from Borough Open Space Trust Fund to fund the purchase of 251 Claremont Road to provide access to Peters Track, which has been underutilized because of limited parking and access. I'll entertain a motion.
It's public hearing, just a note, public hearing November 13th, Tuesday, November 13th at 7 p.m.
Okay, public hearing.
Why Tuesday?
Veterans Day is on a Sunday, so we're closed on the Monday.
Oh,
November 13th at 7 p.m.
that might be tough for me, but I'll try.
All right.
I'm not gonna be here.
I won't be here.
Oh, woof.
I'll be here.
You'll be here, Mike, you here?
2, 3.
I should be there.
That might be,
Christine, you here?
that might be 3 out.
I'll be here.
Should be 4.
Yeah, just barely had a quorum.
All right, we'll have a quorum.
4. So he'll vote.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move.
Moved by Mr. Mara,
Second.
second by Mr. Schmidt, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, the ayes have it. All right, I think that's it for the business for this evening, correct? Jack, anything else?
No, that's it, thanks.
All right, entertain a motion to
Move.
adjourn. Moved by Mr. Schmidt.
Second.
This is the quickest of the evening.